a retro gamer and hobbyist artist with a lot of nerve. Crolister, the master of ponage. Hi guys, Crolister here with the 7th episode of Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearls Let's Play. This episode will take us up to the 7th gym. After you beat Byron and get the Mind Badge, Barry tells you to go to the Canalave City Library. No useful people in the library, just somewhere you're supposed to meet up after you get the 6th gym badge. While playing Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, I kinda made a joke to myself. Has anybody here done any research about Hisui and Zoroark? Before Pokemon Legends Arceus released. And there's supposed to be a hint in the library about the criteria to get Manaphy in that game as well. As well as an interesting topic about how people in Pokemon once, quote, ate at the dinner together. Do you know what it says in the Japanese version? They once got married. Which is kind of a touchy subject. Alright, so Rowan and Dawn are here, and they talk to you guys. And then there's an explosion. Coming. Let me just make sure the other people are of no worth as well. Just as I figured. There was an explosion at Lake Valor, the lake we couldn't previously access before. We're supposed to go there and see what's going on. I have a Lucario now, see? Even though it's not faster, I'm still avoiding the grass for random encounters. Gotta go through a little bit of it anyway, what do you know? Alright, let's see what's going on here. Galactic's here, and they totally destroyed the lake and drained it of its water. There's some Magikarp weekly flopping about in some places. Like usual, I'll skip over the unimportant trainer battles. For the video, I mean. And just tell you what they have. A Glameow and a Croagunk. You can see there's an inaccessible path there. It's blocked off with Magikarp. This one has a Golbat and another Croagunk. This one has a Croagunk, a Beautifly, and a Dustox. Poor useless fish. Alright, let's see what's in the cave. The third of the Galactic commanders is in here. Commander Saturn. So, we're starting off with a Kadabra. So much for opening with my Raichu. Not that matters. Then we have a Bronzor. And then Saturn's ace Pokemon, which is a Toxicroak. Double weak against Psychic. I see it has the ability Dry Skin. Immune to water and healed by water, though weak against fire. And unnecessary crits. Since I have no definite 6th entry in my party, I'm just carrying around different Pokemon to work on evolving them. Like that Ponyta you see. Besides being relatively weak, it evolves at level 40, which is a bit garbage in my opinion. Alright, next, we're supposed to go to Lake Verity, which was the lake at the beginning of the game. Professor Rowan's here. You can see Galactic's causing trouble here as well. This is actually a double battle, and it must be fought as a double battle. You can't interface with them and fight them individually. They have a Silcoon, a Stunky, a Golbat, and 3 Glameow. routes. These ones you can fight individually, if you prefer not to do double battles. This one has a Stunky and a Glammeow. Stunky's a bit annoying because it has, Sucker Punch. A Beautifly and a Glammeow. I just noticed. Did you notice how back in Valor, every grunt had a Croagunk, and everyone here has Glammeow? They must be followers of the specific respective galactic commanders. In this place, we gotta fight Mars again. Her Zubat has evolved into a Golbat, as you can see. Then she's already using her Purr Ugly. Watch my Lucario take it down. Ha! Not so scary anymore now, ain't ya? And then she has a Bronzor. I taught my Gardevoir Shadow Ball as well. Because Gardevoir has really good special attack, I thought it was worth giving her that. That ghost type move. My Gardevoir is actually a boy. Really glad the Steel type got nerfed in Gen 6. So there's one more lake, and this lake is where we're supposed to go for our next gym challenge. Before that, though, I'm going to go a currently optional route. It's optional before the post-game, anyway. South of Sand Gem Town to see what we can find there. I also want to clear out the trainers in that route, so I would no longer need to worry about them once I do get the National Pokédex post-game and are able to do the Ramanas Park. We have some tubers that can optionally be fought as a double battle here. The boy has a pair of West Sea Shellos. And the girl has a pair of Marrows. I think it's funny that her name is Mariel and she has Marrow. Name similarities. This girl has 4 goldies. Talk about lame. See what the other one has. She has a Remoraid and a Psyduck. Little bit less lame. Look out, Lucario, you're in my way. Ether? I pretty much never use those. This guy has a Pelipper and a Whiscash. The male swimmer's defeat animation is kind of funny, snapping his goggles onto his face. One of those effort value drinks. It's hard to tell the shallows from the actual water in Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl. There's one wild Pokemon I'm specifically looking for. After I find it, I'll use Max Repels. She just has a Golduck. Remember that the trainers that have like only one Pokemon have them at a higher level than trainers on the same route with many Pokemon. You can optionally fight these as a double battle. She has a Buizel. And he has a Gyarados. This is the wild Pokemon I was looking for, Tentacool. Because I didn't even encounter a trainer with one yet, so I figured I might as well catch one. He has a Shellos and a Gastrodon. Alright, I'm gonna start using repels here. More effort value drinks. Let me just go back and fight that one girl swimmer that's in this little mirror right here. Otherwise, I'd say that might be the fastest way to get to the Ramanas Park in the post-game. She had a Buizel, a Medicham for some reason, and a Seaking. Alright, going back to where I was earlier. I'm not gonna fight the fisherman. It's not really worth it to go for those guys. She has a Cherrim, a Lopunny, and a Marill. During that fight, the Ponyta I was carrying hit level 40. and is now a Rapidash. Sorry, had to be said. We all know Rapidash is one of the most infamous Pokemon of Sinnoh, for being the literal only other fire type you can get besides the Chimchar line, even in Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, except for like Houndoom in the Grand Underground, which is a better pick if you wanted the fire type that badly, though it's not necessary for a Sinnoh playthrough. You need other Pokemon types amid the ones I'm actually using in this playthrough a lot more. X-Scissor, that's a pretty good move to have. This guy has a Staravia and a Girafarig. Here's the Ramanas Park, or the PAL Park in the original Diamond Pearl. You can't access it until the National Pokédex postgame, though. No, can't access the area I still haven't gotten yet. I just love how the areas of the Grand Underground are so specific that you can only access one of the areas in Celestic Town, one in Snowpoint, one in Sunny Shore, and one on the Battle Island. This collector has Hippopotas. So, you're gonna have a sandstorm if you battle that guy. Let me just look around here. There's a guy's house here. Didn't really need to go there. Here's a pure incense. That would be the one you would need to give Chimecho in order to breathe it and hatch a Chingling. Now we're gonna go to where we actually need to go next. Start from Celestic Town. Make sure you get the hidden move for strength also. You need that. I explained in the previous episode you get strength at the top of the cemetery tower, just south of Salacion Town. Let me get some more berries here. This guy just has a Bronzor. Then there's a Ninja Boy, just jump scares you out of nowhere like this. He has a Skorupi and a Golbat. Alright, now we're gonna... I didn't realize that was actually a strength boulder, so I took the way with the Rock Smash Rocks to get to the Bird Keeper. And I'll have to come back here after I get the 7th Gem Badge and have access to Rockline, huh? She just has a knock towel. The imprecise directional controls in this game. There we go. This is not a bug. This is by design. Some kind of technical machine. There's also a black belt at the bottom of that area that I, kind of missed. You see the gray boulders? These are the ones we push around with the moon's strength. We're gonna need to do that in order to find some places here. Rock polish. This place takes you back to, Eternal City. Can't go that way. That must be a connecting part from the place where it connects hard home, I guess. Rare candy, nice. You're gonna need to use deep fog here to help you see. Yes, this place. This patch of water is the only place you can find feedbass in the game. It'll only appear on 4 specific spots, and those spots are randomly decided every single day. It's actually based on the Lotto ID in Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. And somebody even made a website that can help you find exactly where you can get it based on the Lotto ID number you're given each day you check. I did that to get my feedbass in my original playthrough, so I could get a Milotic. I'm gonna get some items before I head off. Soft sand, that could be useful if I wanted Torterra's earthquake to be a little bit stronger. Alright, now this garbage route. I absolutely hate snowy routes in Pokemon games because of the hail mechanic. You're supposed to go underneath the bridges, not atop them. The atop area with more trainers is, optional. I gave my Lucario a Shell Bell, so he'll heal a little bit after inflicting damage to somebody. Just saw that item there. It's a nice heal. Although there are items up there, that route above there with all the trainers is absolutely optional. So, maybe I'll deal with it later. Definitely not sooner. This girl has a Golduck, a Sudowoodo, and a Ponyta. I traded out that Rapidash earlier for a Cleffa, and she actually evolved into Clefairy very early. And yes, I was using the Sooth Bell, so yeah. I have some Moonstones on me from the Grand Underground, so I'll just evolve into a Clefable right now. I'm not going to use it later, so, you know. We got skiers. There are only a couple of Ice-type Pokemon you can get before the post-game in Sinnoh. One of them is the Pokemon this guy has, Sneasel. The other one is the Snoverline. And even though you have an ice cavern in the Grand Underground, from Celestic Town, you can't get Sneasel or Snover in it until you progress to Snowpoint City and get that gym badge. You can interface with the bed in this building to instantly restore your Pokemon. Very useful if you're worried about the hailstorm damage. This guy has a Mr. Mime, a Machoke, and a Sneasel. Actually, I'm gonna go back to the first stage trainer on this route and battle him. He had an Ambipom and a Kadabra. Maybe you should battle him for the Ambipom, just for the Pokedex. Here's an unavoidable trainer. He has a Raichu, a Pelipper, and a Hippopotas. Alright, so this is the route you would need to take Eevee to evolve it into a Glaceon, where the Ice Rock is. And there's one very specific item you need to find here for game progression. You know, we fought a Mr. Mime earlier. Mr. Mime is not version exclusive in Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. I saw some in the Grand Underground after I got the Gem Badge, and I'm playing Shining Pearl. So, yeah. Just a little correction to the episode where I caught that Bonsly, saying they were version exclusive. Maybe they were formerly version exclusive in the original Diamond Pearl. This is the item I was talking about in question. Rock Climb. That's your next hidden move. You can use it after you beat the 7th gym. I'm kinda not in the mood to battle any trainers here, if they're not necessary, because I hate weather damage. The spell tag is a holding item that amplifies the power of ghost-type moves. Never mind, I already have a repellent effect still. There's the ice rock, though. Now I'm using another repel. We got black belts. I am going to battle him. It'd be very hard to avoid him later if I have to return to this place. He has a crow gunk, a machoke, and an onyx with sturdy. Sturdy. Although it wouldn't matter as much if you're fighting in a hailstorm, it's still annoying. This girl has a Roselia and a Sea King. Alright, we're at Lake Acuity's lakefront, and there's a pair of Galactic grunts that will not let you pass. See, they're not even trainer battles. So I guess our next objective would simply be to go to Snowpoint and get the 7th gym badge. There's also segments with deep snow that make you move very slowly. And if you have a Pokemon following you, they will not appear in the places where it's snowing. Which makes sense because of the hill mechanic, you know. Let me in. Dang directional inputs in this game. You can get some good Pokeballs in the Snowpoint Pokemart. I'll come back to you very soon. What I'm gonna do right now, make sure I'm not missing any items. The beauty you see with the Torch Chick will offer to trade your Medicham for her Haunter. Do not do it. She trolls you by putting an Everstone on it, preventing it from evolving into a Gengar. They would do that, wouldn't they, game creators? And then this old man has a Vulpix. They have Fire-type Pokemon. Why can't we have any decent ones before, the National Pokédex post-game? I like Infernape and Houndoom. I dislike Rapidash. Still. And there's the Snowpoint Temple, though it's off-limits until the National Pokédex post-game. So yeah, I guess we're just to go into the 7th gym then. You're supposed to slide yourself along the ice bowl and destroy the snowballs on contact as you slide. You cannot do it down the steps. Once all the snowballs that are blocking the stairway down the middle are gone, you can go for the gym leader. This can be hard to navigate, and definitely have to battle all the trainers. Many of them do not even use ice types. Again, though, the only ones really in Sinnoh are Sneasel and Snover. This girl has a Sneasel, and then a Tentacruel. Alright, there's one. There's one of them. This girl has a Pelipper, a Gold Duck, and a Steelix with Sturdy. Like, seriously, is that even fair? This guy just has a Snover, which is sensible, except for the fact that it has Ice Shard, which is a priority move. Like I said, you have to slide yourself across the bowl. You cannot move while you're sliding. And you cannot slide down the stairs, or the solid spots. You gotta break every single snowball obstructing the stairway down the middle. Like Maylene's gem, except not as much in my opinion. This could be a pain to navigate. Let's fight this guy. He has a Float Soul and a Sneasel. So while I'm trying to figure out on my own how to break the remaining couple of boulders, I'll give you a bonus tip for Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. Like I said, you must access Snowpoint City to get to one certain spot in the Grand Underground. And once you do, one of the Pokemon dens in the Grand Underground from Snowpoint has a lucky egg, a hold item that makes a Pokemon gain more experience points than normal. If there's a certain Pokemon you're trying to evolve or just want to level up a bunch, a lucky egg will help with that loads. You can also get lucky eggs after matching a certain number of digits on the Lotto ID each day. Bear with me here, I haven't played this game in years. There's one of them. Yeah, I just need to figure out how to get the last couple. Alright, one more. No clue why it took so long for me to figure that out. And there's still one more trainer. He just has a Quagsire. And knows Ice Beam. Although it only damaged like a fifth of my Torterra's total health because of how leveled it is. Then once you've broken all of the snow boulders, you just go back to the middle point of the gym down here, and down the stairs. And up the stairs. And you can challenge the gym leader, Candice, user of ice types. She opens with a Snover, and as you know, Snover has the ability Snow Warning, which instantly triggers a Hailstorm. If you're doing an Infernape playthrough, this gym will be a breeze, because Snover and a Bomb of Snow are obviously doubling the fire. Otherwise, a Lucario or another good fighting type will do just fine. Oh, that's not good. Her Sneasel's faster than my Lucario, despite the level range. It's gonna force Aura Sphere to miss, and it'll obviously be super effective, so since Lucario's a pretty frail Pokemon, I'm gonna have to switch out. I decided to swap out to Gardevoir, since I have some good Fairy-type moves on it. I got Dazzling Gleam, I believe, and Moonblast. I'll just go ahead and take the hit. Pickpocket. And it turns out it had a Chople Berry, which would have reduced the damage from a super effective fighting type hit. So, wow. I've no need to learn that move. You can get Medicham in the routes west of Snowpoint, so this kind of makes sense. And then her main Pokemon is an Bomb of Snow. I'll get Lucario back out for this one. I also taught Lucario Drain Punch, which is even stronger than Low Sweep. So unnecessary critical hits. I think, anyway. And there we beat Candice and qualify for the 7th gym match. The Icicle Badge will allow us to use Rock Climb as a hidden move, and access paths we couldn't take before. We'll get some Ice Effect stickers and the move Avalanche as well. After you beat this gym, you're supposed to return to Lake Acuity and deal with some more Team Galactic grunts, which is where we're going to start in the next episode of this playthrough. Consider subscribing or at least checking out my channel if you like any of the franchises listed, because I plan to talk about them a lot and want to continue doing so for my channel. I'm a hobbyist artist that makes fan art of different game characters and franchises I like, and will occasionally come out with Let's Plays of mostly retro games that I feel like are worth playing for support on my channel. I quite like mine, so consider checking me out if you are interested. And in the next episode, we're going to have to go through the climax where we'll deal with the legendary Pokemon of Sinnoh, Palkia in my case, Dialga if you play Brilliant Diamond. That'll probably take up a whole episode as opposed to the 8th gem, and I'll come out with that episode very soon. I am Crolister, Master of Ponage. Thanks for watching, stay tuned for more content, and I'll see you guys very soon.